Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the main card fights for UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, Overeem versus Oleinik. But before I get into the main card predictions, I'll be doing another $20 giveaway or $20 competition. But I'm not going to give you the instructions in this video or waste another 2 minutes wasting time in this video. You can look at my main card predictions for the last card, UFC 236, and with the first 2 or 3 minutes of that video, I tell you exactly what you need to do. And you can even look at my pinned comment for that video, UFC 236 main card predictions. Not too hard to look for. It's like a couple videos ago, well, like really my second to last video prior to this video. So it's not hard to find. Just look in that video, read, listen to the first 2 minutes. Pretty easy to do, not nothing hard to do. Listen to those instructions. You can even look at the, like I said, the pinned comment for the template of what you got to do, or at least some, like what, 1/4 or 1/3 of what you got to do to win the 20. And that guy, I raised Zombies, won the $20 with this past Saturday for the event, having the best overall pick percentage, or the most picks right for the card, and he won the $20. So you do exactly what he do, then you'll be entered for a chance to win $20. There's nothing you got to pay or nothing like that. All free, and you get a chance to win $20. So I don't see no reason why you shouldn't. But yeah, go to that video. But that being said, let's get into the actual predictions for the main card. So in our first fight, we have in the middleweight division, Jotko versus Alan Amedovski. But his last name aside, or all that stuff said, I kind of struggle with that name. But how these two match up, I see Alan, really haven't seen too much from him. I watched him fight. Nothing too impressive. Technique, not all that great. Definitely has some heavy hands, but technique, really not the best. Big slug, not really huge, I'm saying. Slugfest. Pretty physically strong, nothing super phenomenal about his strength or his grappling or that, but he's definitely fair enough there. I said the best thing about him is his power. That's really what stands out about him. Physically, he's not no big towering dude. I think he's about 5'10", not really that big for a middleweight. Physically, he's not that buff for middleweight. It's like he's Joe Romero. He's not that big. He's not that tall. Striking's not that impressive. Grappling, really nothing that stands off about except his power. He has some impressive power, but it's not Ngannou power. So I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. And Jotko has fought in a lot of the top fighters and fared pretty well. Shown impressive striking, good technique, good use of range, good use of timing, good grappling. Been in there with Tails Lettuce. So grappling-wise, he's been in with much better grapplers. Strikers-wise, he's been in with much better strikers. And I think overall, Alan Amedovski really is nothing new to him. I think Jotko will be able to pick him apart from the outside. Just not really getting too much into it, like trading with him and just pick him apart. Not going to like these 50-50 exchanges, and he'll be good. Probably be able to mix some takedowns of his own, mix some grappling to just wear out those will take some of the pop off Amedovski like punches. And from there, I just think he really just beat him everywhere. So to get to the point, I got Jotko via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, Roxanne Modaferri versus Antonia Shevchenko. Shevchenko's older sister, Valentina's older sister, or no, she's her younger sister, older sister, whatever case, it's her sister. I think she's older. Yeah, she's the older sister. Of Valentina. But looking at this fight, Roxanne Modaferri will win no parts of Shevchenko's striking, but if she can get it to the ground, and this fight is very open for her. But I think Shevchenko being around her sister and being around, the people she's trained with, like Nama Nunes and et cetera, et cetera. She's been in with some good grapplers, been in with some good fighters, got some good people to rub off. I think her striking is going to be too much for Modaferri. Her foot movement, her pace, her volume, her skills. Going to be too much for like kind of the weird, loopy, goofy striking of Modaferri. And she's going to be able to pick apart Modaferri on the feet. And MMA is not all about this grappling, because you got to set up with your strikes, with your takedowns a lot, or be aware of positioning for grappling with your striking. And you also got to set up your takedowns with your striking. With Antonia Shevchenko's movement and her having such a high degree of striking over Modaferri, who's not a wrestler anyway, it's going to be hard to set up those takedowns. Even if she does get a good position, I think Shevchenko's hips going to be able to get her out of a lot of these positions, like not even getting put on her back. If she gets on her back, Modaferri will be in her tool house, but it's going to be hard to get her there, as I only see her getting her there in this fight. I see Shevchenko's movement, her pace, her high striking acumen is going to be too much for Modaferri, pick her apart. And I say she gets her out of there late in the third round. So in this fight, I have Antonia Shevchenko via third round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, Shtykrov versus Devin Clark. Someone called him Ivan the Terrible. So Ivan the Terrible versus Devin Clark. So looking at Ivan, he has a pretty impressive record. Well, as far as being 15-0, some decent names in the last two fights with Fabio Maldonado and Thiago Silva. Both fighters were really not at their peak, and it's not like Maldonado was ever that highly touted. But Thiago Silva used to be a top light heavyweight, but that was years ago. And over recent years, he's been losing to like C-list light heavyweights and heavyweights and middleweights. So not the best name to have right now, but still a good name. Ivan Shtykrov has also beat Bigfoot Silva, so still some decent names, but not the best time to beat them. But when I look at Ivan the Terrible, what he does is a lot of lunging and jumping strikes. He's very physically powerful. And that's really what it is. He hits hard and he's physically strong. Technique, not the best, but he knows he's physically strong and he has some decent understanding of technique. Not really no real sound understanding of technique, but he knows he's strong. When he does this and does that, he does it right. He can make you tap or does that. Like a decent spinning back kick, overhand, lunging shots. And going against, let me go back and track a little bit. And he hasn't really fought a wrestler. He fought Bigfoot Silva, who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, but that's not a wrestler. Fabio Maldonado, definitely not a wrestler. Thiago Silva, some grappling, but really not that level. Devin Clark will be the best wrestler he's ever fought. And he's not some over-the-hill guy. Devin Clark is still an improving, developing fighter. And you never know what he could be like coming in this fight, and especially with all the lunging that Shtykrov relies on. And he always relies on being the guy on the front foot, moving forward. When he's pushing back, he literally has no counters or nothing when he's going backwards. He needs to like be stationary, or he needs to be lunging. Really, like 99% of his strikes come from him lunging. He might lunge and throw a spinning back, he might lunge and throw a hook, he might lunge and throw a straight. Everything's lunging. And that's not a good habit to have against a wrestler, especially a wrestler that's probably close to being as physically strong as him, maybe even stronger than him. And Devin Clark, just looking at his Instagram, he's a very strong dude, very physically strong, and his wrestling is very technical. So doing that lunging might get him put on his back. And Ivan has a very bad habit he always needs to breathe with. I guess you do need to breathe with all those muscles. Another thing about Ivan, he's coming from Russian. You know, a lot of Russian leagues have like very lax drug testing, so he might be shrunken when he comes in the UFC. They're both around the same height, but I think Ivan's actually probably about 5'10". He's probably boosted his height just for marketability, but he's probably about really 5'10". Devin Clark's probably actually 6 feet, so a lot of things you gotta look at it. But really, I'm gonna think Ivan's kind of questionable cardio, then going against a wrestler who can put him against pace. That lunging, jumping, and stuff will get you taken down. I think Devin Clark's able to find some takedowns and just really grind him out and start to like keep that pace on him and fatigue him, pound him, ground and pound. I think just drag him to decision. So in this fight, I got Devin Clark via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the heavyweight division, Sergey Pavlovich versus Marcelo Golm. So look at this fight, you got pretty much two kind of up-and-coming heavyweights, kind of. Golm looking like he might be out of the UFC. Sergey Pavlovich getting his second shot in the UFC. He lost to Overeem in his debut. And Golm, I think, lost to Bohar and he lost to Tim Johnson. So 0-2 versus 0-1. I think a lot of people leaning to Pavlovich in this fight. I guess because he hasn't lost as much and he only lost to Overeem, who's a top-notch fighter. But when we look at who Golm lost in the last fights, he lost to wrestlers. Like Tim Johnson with at least D2, D3, something wrestler with at least good wrestling ability in Tim Johnson. And he lost to Buhar, who had some, I guess, semi-world level or world level wrestling experience. So Buhar is certainly not no slouch on the wrestling. So in Pavlovich, haven't really seen too much impressive wrestling. So we look at that, that's a significant part of the fight. And Golm has some solid jiu-jitsu. Whereas Pavlovich, I don't think his jiu-jitsu is all that great. Is how he easily got dispatched by Overeem so much, just take it down easily, ground and pound it so easily, was able to really pull full guard, was able to attack with no submissions, just got manhandled and had no answer. So in this fight, I think Pavlovich is not going to be able to control the grappling exchanges as much as the people that gone fought in the past are in his first two fights. Then they're on the striking exchanges. Pavlovich is probably technically the better striker, but he's kind of like tentative and passive on the striker. He doesn't really go for the kill too much, doesn't really set up strikes, doesn't really put too much offense out there, whereas Golm will put that offense out there on you. He will put that volume out there, which will allow him to land heavy strikes or set up takedowns. I think that's he's going to go for that in this fight, and I think he'll be able to secure those takedowns and take Pavlovich to his realm, and that's in the grappling. Like he might see most of his fights been on the feet, but where he really wants to be is on the ground. I think that's where he's going to be able to find it in this fight. Take advantage of the tentative Pavlovich, get him to the grappling where it's his bread and butter, and he'll be able to work and land some heavy ground and pound and set up a submission. I think it's going to be a competitive fight. Won't be easy. But I think he eventually able to get him to his round, land some ground and pound wear on Pavlovich. I think in the second round, he gets him out of there with a submission. So in this fight, I got Marcelo Golm via second round submission. Now to our co-main event we have in the lightweight division, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sayurin or Sukarin or Saru, I don't know, that what Ryu does, Shurukin or something like that. But enough jokes. I'm gonna call him Arman for right now. But looking at this fight, this matchup, this is pretty interesting. Arman is a real good prospect. Don't sleep on this dude at all. I would even probably place a side bet on him just because this is really a guy you don't want to sleep on. He's 22 years old, 22, 23. He has solid grappling. I mean, it might not be Khabib level, might not be Makhachev level. I'm saying it might not be. It could easily be that level, but it's not that level. I'm not gonna give him that much credit just yet because he hasn't fought in just not that level of competition yet to really prove it. But he certainly has some solid grappling. And the competition side, his competition hasn't been weak. It's been some solid competition. He has some solid striking already has some good grappling. And that's a lot of stuff you really can't say. When Islam first came to UFC, his striking was kind of poor. He just swung shots. But Arman already has some solid, clean striking. His grappling is already there. Just needs to, just keep fighting good competition. I mean, I would want him to be, if I was building this guy, I would try to drop him a little bit lower. But it's interesting enough to drop him this high up. I guess because they feel Islam is not going to fight Khabib for the title. So there's no point of him beating real top contenders. Why not test him against this new hot prospect who will fight Khabib if he does get the chance. But like I said, I think Arman's strike is probably already better than, or at least much better than Islam when it first came in. But I think over the years, since Islam's first loss and over his past couple fights, he has improved his striking. His defense has gotten sharper. His arms got it closer. It's not like his hands been down, just winging shots, chin up. Chin got it lower, hands got it higher, punching more straight instead of looping shots. Takedowns got him better. His pressure's got him better. I think he's been in UFC and been able to evolve where this is going to be Arman's chance to evolve, and it's going to be a little bit too much for him at the beginning. I think Islam's going to test him. Like, I said Arman probably might be the better striker, might be this, might be that. Like I said, Islam has fought in the better competition and has had his chances to evolve in the best proven ground for MMA. And I think he's going to use that to his advantage. Like I said, be the veteran in this fight. I think he's going to use his pressure, go for takedown, grappling exchanges to wear out Arman, put him in a type of fight he hasn't been in yet, wear on him, and just give him that veteran, I guess, rub, and just take him down, wear him out, and outwork him, outsmart him. And, he got so much talent, so much potential. Just be the smarter man and outwork him and outthink him. So in this fight, I got Islam Makhachev via decision. Now on to our main event we have in the heavyweight division, Alistair Overeem versus Alexei Oleinik. So as we all know, Overeem is very chinny. As we know, Oleinik struggles with fighters he can't get to the ground. I think one of his weaknesses against stronger fighters in the clinch. That's one of his weaknesses. And Overeem has one of the best clinches in the game. Probably the best clinch in the game all the time, especially with those knees to the body. Probably the best clinch, regardless of weight class, of all time. So saying that, Overeem has a very good chance to win, and most likely should win, but also knowing Overeem, his chin is very chinny, and this is not a 3-round fight, this is a 5-round fight, which gives opportunities for people to land punches on that glass chin, or at least Oleinik a chance to land punches on that glass chin. But as far as, let's see this fight, like I said, I think Overeem could bully him in the clinch, land some knees to the body, probably take him out early, or maybe even when Overeem's not rocked, I think he should have no issue with Oleinik on the ground. At least been on top, not on bottom, but been on top. He should have no issue with Oleinik. Beat him up in his full guard, maybe even pass his guard and do whatever he wants, or have some success there. But if he gets rocked, all things change. He can get caught in that Ezekiel choke, get caught in something from the bottom, get caught for something from the top. Get ground and pound, and the whole course of the fight could change. But as long as Overeem's in his, like he's okay, not rocked, not fatigued, it should be his fight to win. But I just feel the 5 rounds is kind of making me question Overeem a bit with that chin in a 5-round fight against somebody like Oleinik, who's just so unorthodox and so weird, so wiry, who just can throw shots from anywhere, who's a durable guy, not afraid to hit, not afraid to take a shot, and will give you shots back. It's a long time for things to change. I think Overeem's going to be strong to start. Like I said, he's going to have to be able to bully him in the clinch, be okay on the ground, be able to handle his own there, be able to ground and pound him. But as the fight goes on, I think Oleinik's going to be able to take the damage and get stronger as the fight. Like Overeem's going to get weaker as the fight goes on, whereas Oleinik's going to get stronger as the fight goes on. And eventually he's going to land one of those big loopy shots. Overeem's going to get hurt and probably go for a takedown or try to initiate some clinch or initiate something. And then when he's rocked and not really all his bearings, like when he doesn't have all of his bearings, he's not going to be in position to fully be on defensive. And I think in that position, Oleinik is able to secure a choke or secure a submission and gets him out. I think it's going to be probably around the third round. So in this fight, I got Alexei Oleinik via third round submission. And that concludes my fight predictions for the main card of UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, Overeem versus Oleinik. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.